Coming up on WUFT Midday, early voting underway across most of the state. Where and how you can cast your ballot.
You can feel the heat coming in. It feels like we're in an oven.
Thousands without power as a pallet fire breaks out in Texas, when crews say the fire will be out.
And reports of bad batches of gas across the state. What you can do to protect your car.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
Right now, voters are heading to the polls for early voting in 4 more states. This is WUFT Midday. I'm Haley Balgobin.
And I'm Jessica Nitti. On Monday, most North Central Florida counties open their polling locations. Here's the very latest polling numbers. More than 4,800 Alachua County residents headed to the polls already yesterday to cast their ballots. And in Marion County, that number was nearly doubled. More than 9,200 voters turned out to vote early. Across the state, more than 1 million people have already submitted early voting ballots. Alice Barr breaks down where candidates are headed ahead of Election Day.
Early voting begins in 4 states today, including battleground Wisconsin, joining the record numbers in several states who've already had their say.
I want to make sure my vote gets in.
Vice President Harris spent part of Monday in Wisconsin attacking former President Trump for refusing to debate her again, pulling out of recent interviews and raising eyebrows at his rallies.
He is pulling out of interviews left, right, and center. I think it does lead us, and it should lead us to observe that he is increasingly unstable.
She campaigned alongside former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, with stops in Michigan and Pennsylvania, sharpening her appeal to Trump-skeptical Republicans in must-win states.
We might not agree on every issue, but she is somebody that you can trust and someone that our children can look up to.
Former President Trump focused on North Carolina.
I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion.
Touring damage from Hurricane Helene in Asheville.
I will support and totally complete the rebuilding of every region and town and city that was devastated by the hurricane. And
both he and the Republican National Committee chairman saying they have not seen any signs of cheating in the election.
We're so impressed, and I think they have a pretty good system here.
Though at a rally hours later, the former president renewed his claims without evidence that there could be widespread fraud.
The vote counter is more important than the candidate. That's been true, unfortunately.
Raising doubts as the votes flow in. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Several former GOP officials and government attorneys are urging the Department of Justice to investigate Elon Musk's $1 million sweepstakes. We told you Monday that Musk started giving away $1 million to registered voters who have signed his PAC in battleground states. In a letter to the DOJ, the group of officials warned this new tactic could be illegal. Federal law prohibits anyone paying people to register to vote. The Department of Justice confirms it received the letter, but declined to comment further.
The pause in elective surgeries at URMC continues as healthcare systems across the country deal with a shortage of IV fluids. The factory in North Carolina that produces most of the country's supply was badly damaged during Hurricane Helene. Since Hurricane Helene, there's been significantly reduced shipments of IV sterile fluids. UR medicine teams are working to increase supplies from multiple vendors. If you've had an elective or semi-elective surgery postponed, it's likely based on urgency elsewhere.
Some drivers across the state are saying they may have gotten a bad batch of gas following Hurricane Helene and Milton. Nicole Rogers explains what you can do to save your car if you think you fueled up with bad gas.
The fact that gas was what messed up my car is extremely frustrating.
After evacuating and spending days searching for fuel, Jocelyn Shook finally found a gas station where she could fill up in Pinellas County, a mile and a half down the road. That saving grace quickly turned into a nightmare.
It started shaking, completely stalled out. We thought it was the battery. We jumped it, wasn't.
Shook had her car towed to the nearest mechanic. That's when she heard the words bad gas for the first time.
He pulled a sample. There wasn't gas in it. It was a liquid that smelled like rubbing alcohol.
We went to Ed Larkham's garage in Tampa to find out just how common this is. Co-owner Graham Lopez says when gas stations run out of gas, water and sediment and the things you don't want in your car typically sit at the bottom of the tank. So after hurricanes, when everyone is buying up gas, this becomes a problem. So what can you do to save your car?
So the first thing is, you don't want to drive the car. You definitely want to have it towed to your nearest shop, whoever you use, whoever the guys are that you go to normally. And you're going to have to drain the whole system. You take, either drop the tank or pull all the lines off, drain everything out of it. You got to change the filter for sure.
And now to the price tag. For something like this, you'll get charged by the hour. Lopez charges $125 per hour and says a job like this would take between 1 and 3 hours depending on the type of vehicle.
So if someone brings their car to a mechanic, what should they keep an eye out for to make sure they're not being taken advantage of?
Like extremely high labor times. If they're telling you, oh, it's going to take 6 hours for us to drop this tank and empty the gas out or to change the filters and stuff like that, you're probably shouldn't be there. That's a lot of labor to do something like that.
A man is in jail after shooting his girlfriend and then running away from officers. Ocala police officers say 36-year-old Donald Robert Jr. chased and shot his girlfriend at a Motel 6. They found her with a gunshot wound to her back and took her to the hospital for treatment. Roberts fled this motel but was eventually found by officers near an I-75 overpass. Roberts also had fled multiple warrants out for his arrest.
Deputies are sharing some warnings to help you be more aware of when you might be being scammed. On your screen are just some of the ways you can tell if you might be a victim of a scam. Court documents will never be shared with you through a text message. You can also check documents for wrong spelling or grammar or inconsistent information. Lastly, deputies say they would never ask you for money instead of being arrested. You should never pay anyone unless you know them personally.
In just a few hours, High Springs voters will have a chance to meet the candidates running for City Commission. The meet and greet is hosted by the High Springs New Century Women's Club at their office tonight at 5:30. Candidates running for seats 4 and 5 will be there to hear and answer questions. Commissioners are responsible for passing budgets and creating ordinances and resolutions. Elected commissioners will serve 3-year terms.
A Gainesville-founded punk rock band is celebrating 30 years of music with a key to the city. Gainesville Mayor Harvey Ward is declaring Thursday as Hot Water Music Day. Mayor Ward will present the band with a key to the city at 6 p.m. at City Hall. The band is returning to Gainesville for the annual Fest Music Festival, which kicks off Friday at Bo Diddley Plaza. Hot Water Music is scheduled to play on Thursday and Friday nights.
And right now, firefighters are battling a massive pallet fire at a Texas warehouse. This is video from overnight. The wood pallets caught fire around 10 p.m. at the warehouse in Dallas. Over 3,000 people are without power in the nearby area. Officials don't know what caused the fire.
Especially to feel it from 2 to 3 blocks away from where we were, it was, we had the windows down and you could feel the heat coming in. It feels like we were in an oven. So I can only imagine what it was like for the firefighters who were on duty.
So far, no injuries have been reported from the fire.
Taking a live look outside on our DOT cameras on this sunny Tuesday afternoon, this is I-75 near Paynes Prairie. Looks like there isn't much traffic on your way towards Gainesville today. UF forecaster Selina Massman joins us now. Selina, you've been tracking how long the sunny weather is going to last.
Yes, this sunny weather will continue throughout the rest of the week, but today we do have to look out for an afternoon sprinkle. It is feeling like fall, or as close as we can get it here in Florida. And we'll take a quick look at the tropics to make sure that we're staying up to date with what is happening south of us. But a quick look at our campus cam is showing beautiful blue skies with a couple of clouds here and there. Overall, a beautiful image. Temperatures are currently sitting at 77 degrees with the feel like temperature being at 80. Winds a little bit gusty at 9 miles per hour. Storm tracker, our radar, is showing not that many storms in our area. A couple of isolated showers towards east of Gainesville off of the First Coast, moving over throughout the rest of the day. And later on by late lunchtime, early dinner time, we can see those isolated showers make its way more over to our area. But by dinner time and into tomorrow morning, those showers will no longer be an issue for our area. Temperatures are currently in the upper 70s, even reaching the 80s already down here in Daytona, 83. The Village is at 81. This trend will continue throughout the rest of the day as our hour by hour is showing us temperatures staying in the 80s here in Gainesville, but then dropping again down to the 70s by nighttime. Tomorrow morning, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-60s for most of north central Florida. Gainesville, we're looking at 65. We'll even reach down to Lake City 61 or Live Oak 60. So if you are sensitive to the cold, make sure you are grabbing that jacket before making your way out, because we do see that fall weather, in a sense, make its way to our area. Tomorrow, the early morning clouds show up with that 66 degrees in our area, mainly sunny skies, similar to what we saw on that campus cam earlier, and a picture perfect afternoon for any fall activities that you have planned with a family. Those temperatures are looking perfect for anything that you want to do outside, so make the best use out of it. That beautiful weather is caused because of this high pressure system that's currently sitting over the southeast United States, and this is causing no rain to be in our area. The only thing that could potentially be causing those little sprinkles that we're seeing is Tropical Storm Oscar, but as it makes its way northeast, it should no longer be an issue for the state of Florida. Oscar is not looking like a tropical storm anymore, as that eye is not long, you can't see it. So honestly, this is not an issue for the rest of the state of Florida. We only see some storms here and there as throughout the rest of the evening. The 7-day outlook is showing us those temperatures in the mid-80s, dropping down to the 70s, with those lows being in the 60s consistently throughout the rest of the week as there's no rain.
The Powerball jackpot is worth an estimated $478 million. No one has claimed the top prize from Monday's winning numbers. If someone wins this jackpot, it'll be worth around $230 million after taxes.
Chick-fil-A is launching a new app called Chick-fil-A Play for Kids. The app will include original animated shows, games, podcasts, kid-friendly crafts, and ebooks. CFA officials say the app was designed for parents and kids in mind to have the ultimate digital playground experience at their fingertips. It features unique content to make the most of family moments together at home or in the drive-thru. The app will be available on the App Store on November 18th.
Check your freezers. Some frozen waffle products are being recalled after a potential listeria outbreak. The recalled products were produced by Treehouse Foods and are sold under various brand names across the country. The FDA says they haven't confirmed any illnesses linked to the product yet. They discovered the issue during testing at one of Treehouse Food buildings. If you have one of these products in your freezer, you should throw it away or return it for a store credit.
Now let's get over to WUFT First at 5 anchor Alexis Vivanco with a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
Coming up on First at 5, we're bringing you the latest on Alachua County's search for an interim superintendent, plus the downside to AI and how it could affect you at the polls, and how Gainesville Police Department plans to eliminate pedestrian casualties. This and more on First at 5 at 5 o'clock on Channel 5.
And before we go, one last check on the weather. Selina, how could we expect the rest of the week to look like?
We're looking at wonderful temperatures for the rest of this week heading into Halloween. Our storm tracker once again is not showing any storms for our area, and this will continue for the rest of this week. Currently, a couple sprinkle showers for us expected for the rest of the today, but not an issue for later on. We're taking a quick look again at Tropical Storm Oscar. The latest National Hurricane Center advisory has him moving towards the northeast, so therefore it's not an issue for the state of Florida, and we're not seeing many impacts from this, even from the outer bands. So this is currently the only thing happening in the tropics currently, and shouldn't be a similar story should be continuing throughout the rest of the week into Halloween. So no spooky hurricanes coming our way for the next 14 days. Temperatures are showing us that there's going to be potential afternoon sprinkle later on today, feeling like fall with those nice mid-warm temperatures and those breezy early mornings with a chill in the air, and then a tropical update as we saw earlier. Oscar's not that big of an issue for us. The 7-day outlook is showing us temperatures staying in the 80s throughout the rest of the week. We're seeing 82 for the weekend, so honestly a very nice weekend to do anything that you have planned with the family if you're planning on going to a pumpkin patch or so. And then temperatures in the lows staying in the 50s or 60s, and no rain expected up until Halloween.
Thanks for joining us for WUFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We now join Sports Scene with Steve Russell live on WRUF Radio and right here on WRUF-TV Channel 6.